In the dead of night, under the flickering streetlights of a bustling city that never truly sleeps, a young woman named Mia froze in her tracks. Her heart pounded like a drum as muffled screams pierced the silence from the trunk of a sleek black luxury car parked in the alley behind the high-end hotel where she worked as a cleaner. What she discovered inside would change her life forever, and shock the world. But before we dive into this incredible tale of courage and redemption, if you're hooked already, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more heart-pounding stories that prove ordinary people can become heroes. Now, let's unravel the mystery that started with a single, fateful decision. Mia was no stranger to hardship. At 22, she had grown up in the shadows of poverty, orphaned at a young age after a tragic car accident claimed her parents. She bounced between foster homes, each one colder than the last, until she aged out of the system and found herself scraping by in the unforgiving streets of New York City. Her days were a blur of minimum-wage jobs, cleaning hotel rooms by day, waitressing at a dingy diner by night. Dreams? She had them once, of becoming a nurse, helping others the way no one had helped her. But reality was a relentless grind, bills piling up like unanswered prayers, and every penny counted. Mia's small apartment was a cramped studio with peeling wallpaper, shared with a stray cat she named Whiskers, her only companion in a world that felt too big and too cruel. That particular evening, Mia was on the late shift at the Grand Royale Hotel, a glittering palace for the elite where billionaires waltzed in with entourages and left behind messes that spoke of excess. She was mopping the lobby when she overheard the staff buzzing about Victor Harrington, the infamous tech mogul whose fortune was built on revolutionary AI software. Harrington was worth billions, a man whose face graced magazine covers, touting his philanthropy while rumors swirled about his cutthroat business tactics. His latest arrival had the hotel in a frenzy, a private gala in the penthouse suite. Mia didn't care much for the glamour. She just wanted to finish her shift and collapse into bed. But as she took out the trash to the back alley, something caught her ear. A faint, desperate cry, like someone trapped and pleading for help. It came from Harrington's custom Rolls-Royce, parked discreetly away from prying eyes. At first, Mia dismissed it as her imagination, maybe the wind, or a distant siren. But the sound persisted, growing more urgent, a mix of sobs and muffled screams that sent chills down her spine. Her mind raced. Should she ignore it? Walk away, like she'd learned to do with so many of life's injustices? After all, she was just a poor girl, invisible to the world of the wealthy. But something deep inside her stirred, a flicker of the empathy her mother had instilled in her before she was gone. Always help if you can, Mia, her mom's voice echoed in her memory. Heart hammering, Mia glanced around to ensure no one was watching. The alley was empty, save for the hum of the city beyond. With trembling hands, she approached the car, her cheap sneakers crunching on gravel. The trunk was locked, but in her janitor's toolkit, she had a slim gem from a previous job at an auto shop. It was a risk, tampering with a billionaire's property could land her in jail, but the screams tugged at her soul. Popping the trunk open with a soft click, Mia's world shattered. There, bound with ropes, gagged with a cloth, and wide-eyed with terror, was a young woman about her age. Bruises marred her pale skin, and tears streamed down her face as she whimpered for help. Mia gasped, stumbling back, her mind reeling. This wasn't some prank or mistake, this was real horror. The woman, later identified as Elena Harrington, was Victor's own daughter, a 24-year-old aspiring artist who had vanished 2 days earlier. The press had barely covered it, dismissing it as a family matter, but here she was, stuffed into her father's trunk like discarded luggage. Mia's hands shook as she untied the ropes, whispering assurances. "It's okay, I'm here. You're safe now." Elena collapsed into her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. He did this," she choked out. "My own father." The revelation hit Mia like a freight train. Victor Harrington, the celebrated billionaire, wasn't the victim, he was the monster. Elena explained in hushed, broken sentences as Mia helped her to her feet. Victor had built his empire on secrets, including a web of illegal dealings. Embezzling funds from his charity foundations to fund shady offshore ventures, and when Elena stumbled upon evidence while interning at his company, he panicked. Fearing she'd expose him, he had her kidnapped by his private security team, planning to stage her accidental disappearance during a business trip. The trunk was a temporary holding spot before they moved her to a private jet. Mia's mind whirled with disbelief and fear. How could a father do this to his child? Elena, once privileged but now stripped of everything, became instantly relatable to Mia. They both knew betrayal, both fought to survive in a world stacked against them. But the nightmare was far from over. As Mia helped Elena toward the hotel's back entrance, headlights pierced the darkness. Victor's limo pulled up, and out stepped the man himself, flanked by two burly guards. His eyes narrowed on the open trunk, then on the two women. "What the hell is this?" he barked, his voice laced with fury. Mia's stomach dropped. She had no plan, no weapon, just her wits and a burning sense of justice. "Run," she yelled to Elena, shoving her toward the street. The guards lunged, but Mia, fueled by adrenaline, grabbed a nearby trash can and hurled it at them, buying precious seconds. A chase ensued through the labyrinth of alleys, Victor's men shouting threats, their footsteps echoing like thunder. Mia's lungs burned, her legs screamed in protest, but she thought of her parents, of the life she deserved, and pushed on. Elena, weakened but determined, kept pace, their hands clasped in solidarity. They burst onto a busy avenue, where Mia flagged down a cab, screaming for help. Passers-by whipped out phones, recording the chaos as Victor's guards hesitated in the public eye. The billionaire himself arrived moments later, trying to spin a tale of a misunderstanding, but it was too late. Elena's tear-streaked face and bound wrists told the truth. Police sirens wailed in the distance, summoned by a quick-thinking pedestrian. In the ensuing hours, the story exploded, viral videos, news alerts, headlines screaming, "Billionaire's dark secret exposed by heroic cleaner." Mia and Elena were whisked to safety, where Elena poured out the evidence, hidden files on a USB drive she'd managed to conceal, detailing Victor's fraud and corruption. The challenges mounted in the days that followed. Victor's lawyers descended like vultures, painting Mia as a thief and Elena as unstable. Threats came anonymously, phone calls in the night, shadows outside Mia's apartment. The emotional toll was immense. Mia relived her own losses, questioning if she was strong enough. Elena grappled with the betrayal of family, her world crumbling. But together, they found strength. Mia connected Elena with a pro bono lawyer from a women's shelter she volunteered at, and they built a case brick by brick. Public outrage grew, fueled by social media campaigns. Mia started from her beat-up laptop. Celebrities shared their story, donations poured in for Mia's legal fees, and Elena's art, raw depictions of her ordeal, went viral, turning pain into purpose. In court, the resolution came like a cleansing storm. Victor's empire unraveled as whistleblowers emerged, confirming Elena's claims. He was arrested, his assets frozen, facing decades in prison for kidnapping, fraud, and more. Mia, once invisible, became a symbol of bravery. Elena, freed from her father's shadow, pursued her dreams, opening an art gallery that supported abuse survivors. And Mia? With the reward money from exposed bounties and Elena's gratitude, she enrolled in nursing school, her long-buried aspiration reborn. Whiskers got a bigger home, and Mia found a new family in Elena, their bond unbreakable. As the dust settled, Mia stood on a stage at a charity event, microphone in hand. "I was just a poor girl who heard a scream," she said, voice steady. "But that moment taught me we're all capable of change. Don't wait for heroes, be one. Stand up for what's right, even when it's terrifying." The audience erupted in applause, but Mia's eyes met Elena's in the crowd, a silent promise of hope. Life isn't a fairy tale, but courage can rewrite the ending. If this story moved you, touched your heart, or inspired you to act, please like the video, subscribe for more tales of triumph over adversity, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that one voice can echo forever. What's your takeaway? Drop it in the comments below, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep believing in the power of kindness.